her in a cage, where they assaulted her until she was pregnant. This is the true story of Pocahontas. In May of 1607, John Smith led Englishmen to establish a settlement in what they called the New World America. Then home of the natives, this particular part of land John Smith chose was the home of the 15,000 Powhatan people. Led by Wahunsinako, one day, the Powhatan invited John Smith into their villages so that the colonizers learned their ways and peace can be established. It was during that ceremony that John Smith first saw 10-year-old Pocahontas, daughter of the chief. Now knowledgeable in the ways of the natives, John Smith returned to the settlement and decided to write a book about his unique experience, and he changed all the facts to lies. He turned the Powhatan into brutal savages that kidnapped him, and Chief's 10-year-old daughter was turned into a beautiful princess that, along with 30 other of these savage beauties, danced around him begging John to give them children. This is the story Disney chose to be inspired by. In the first winter, the English settlement was starving, but luckily the natives were willing to share some of their harvest and teach them how to hunt. The English then returned the favor, invading the natives' villages to take all of their harvest and food reserves. At gunpoint in response, the native chief, Wahunsinako, moved his people further away from the English settlement, and so years went by. The chief's daughter, Pocahontas, was now 15, married, and had her first daughter, living with her husband and his people, close to the English settlement. In the summer, the natives generally ran around naked to combat the heat, and when the English saw the naked native women, they assaulted them over and over and over again. This enraged Chief Wahunsinako, and he declared war on all the English. The settlement was doomed. They were 100 Englishmen. The Powhatan had over 10,000 warriors. But then John Smith, he had an idea. He knew Pocahontas was the chief's daughter from way back, so his men kidnapped her from the nearby village, killed her husband and their baby, and then used her to blackmail Chief Wahunsinako, the life of Pocahontas, in return for peace and food. Wahunsinako had to consult this with the leaders of the other tribes whose daughters had suffered and who had cause for vengeance. So while the natives were making a decision, the English locked 15-year-old Pocahontas in a cage at the bottom of a dark ship, where every day several of them had their way with her. Until Pocahontas was pregnant. This was a problem because it was proof that Pocahontas was not unharmed, like promised. So to solve this issue, one of the Englishmen, John Rolfe, he came up with an idea. He told the chief that he had fallen in love and married Pocahontas, that they were expecting a child, and it's their wish to visit England and meet their family. Then he bribed native leaders with tobacco to relay the message. The chief trusted his men and gave his blessing for Pocahontas to travel with her new husband once she arrived in England. Pocahontas was an instant icon. The book John Smith had written was somewhat of a bestseller, and it featured her as his main love interest. And now, this exotic woman from the book was here in the flesh. Incredible. Pocahontas adapted, learned English, and became a socialite. Her plan was to show them that natives are not savages, in hopes of keeping her people safe and maybe establish peace. Eventually, Pocahontas was so popular that she met King James I and Queen Anne, and her spoken English was becoming better and better. So her husband, John Rolfe, he feared that she might one day tell the truth of how he and his men had really treated her and the natives, and so John and his men killed Pocahontas in secret, telling everybody that she had died of some mysterious illness, and then they buried Pocahontas in an unmarked grave.